Hello and welcome. Provocative award-winning writer-director Spike Lee has come a long way since his debut feature, the sexy comedy She's Gotta Have It. The 1986 New York set film was the launching pad for what has become an outstanding career that has grown to encompass not only feature films but shorts, documentaries, TV series and music videos with the likes of Michael Jackson, Miles Davis and Stevie Wonder. Spike also won an Oscar for co-writing the powerful and controversial satire BlacKkKlansman, and he was also nominated for an Academy Award for directing the film. Over the decades, Spike has evolved as a courageous and often challenging filmmaker, with movies including Malcolm X, Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, School Days, Mo Better Blues and Inside Man with Denzel Washington and Jodie Foster. But back in 1986, She's Gotta Have It, which explored sexuality and relationships in the black community, was starting new conversations among the 20-somethings who flocked to see it around the world. At the time, shortly after the film had been released, I did a newspaper interview with Spike, then aged 29, to find out more about the inspiration for the film, but also about Spike's background.
Can I go back a little bit and to the time when you got the idea for She's Gotta Have It? I mean, where did that come from? It's a wild and crazy idea, or was it something that you'd been planning and developing, or what?
No, I got the idea after having tried to do a film before that called Messenger. We were in pre-production for 8 weeks, and I had to pull the plug because the money never really came together.
Right.
And out of that devastation, I came with the idea of She's Gotta Have It. I had the title first, and I knew I wanted to make a film that would cost almost no money at all, yet people still want to go see it.
Mm. So what sort of elements did you feel it should have?
I think that I wanted to do something about black sexuality. I mean, you don't see black people kissing on screen. I wanted to be humorous.
Mm, yeah. And it was
and I wanted to make a good film.
And it was basically those two elements of the humor and the sexuality.
Yes.
Which, of course, boils down to you know, basic humanity, doesn't it?
Yes. But as is so often the case, it's assumed that if something's all black, it doesn't make it universal, or it just pertains to black people. I've never thought like that.
What was the reaction when you tried to raise money for it?
The reaction? Well, it's hard raising money, and people react generally the way they always react. That they don't want to give you the money for it.
But was there? I mean, when you explained to them the concept of the film and the two elements you just described to me, I mean, did that make them more interested or less interested in the possibility of becoming involved?
I mean, it really didn't matter. They just thought I was unproven, no track record, and nobody was going to see this film. And even if I did get it made, nobody would distribute it. It wouldn't get shown.
Did you go first to the black community, to black friends and black businessmen, or did you?
Yeah, I went everywhere. I mean, I couldn't be picky. I needed money.
Yeah. And so how did it come about in the end? What did you do? Did you get a whole lot of investors to come into it?
Well, we got some grants, some fellowships, and personal investment.
So, well, in the end, what was the budget? What did you shoot it for? I know it was very small.
$175,000.
That's amazing. Christ.
$175,000. We shot in Super 16 and blew it up to 35.
Well, it's come up very well.
Yes, it did.
In the blow-up, absolutely. And what about the cast that you got, which were also great? But did you have them for the original film, and therefore they were sort of prepared to come onto this one, or did you have to go looking for people?
No, I knew all the people. I mean, I wrote that role specifically for Tracy Johns. I had Tracy Johns specifically in mind.
Oh, right.
when it was a totally different. I mean, She's Gotta Have It and Messenger were two separate things. They're separated by summer. A lot of people think that after Messenger, a lot of people have written that after Messenger fell apart, 3 weeks later we did School Days, but it was a year apart.
Mm. So with the just dealing with the sexuality of the relationships and so on, I mean, did you see them in any way as being different from white people, or should they be different, presented in a different way? Is there something particularly special?
I think that it's a very human film, but it's not just enough to say that it's the same. It's the same. White people go through the same thing. The thing is that might be true, but when have you seen a film like that?
Exactly. I agree.
So that's the point.
Yeah, I agree. But I just wondered if you felt, and whether Tracy felt, that perhaps there were special attitudes, for example, in relationships that existed between black people that didn't between white people for any reason.
Well, I think there's a difference because, first of all, as far as the male-female thing, there's a very dire shortage of black men in the United States. I mean, black women outnumber men like anywhere from 5 to 8 to 1 in various cities.
That's interesting. I didn't know that at all.
Because generally the black male is under attack. If he's not in prison or a drug addict or whatever, or killed by the age of 20. So I just think it has to be a difference because we're black people in America not in the same position that white people are. So I mean, our social standards will definitely make an influence on how we relate to each other between the black and the white.
I think that's very true. I mean, I've been to the United States quite a bit over the last 10 years or so and travelled quite a bit. In fact, probably travelled through the United States more than most Americans have.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, from an outsider's point of view, of course, America is portrayed as a very rich, wealthy and powerful country, and in many ways it is.
Mm-hmm.
But by God, when you see, it's not the white people and the black people and Indians and the Cajuns down in New Orleans and so on, there are so many vastly differing standards of living,
right,
all of which must put pressures on people to live and react and interact with each other in different ways.
Right.
What was the critical response here when the film came out? Well, not so much the critical response, but what was the human response to the film?
I think audiences loved the film. I think they really found it refreshing. They enjoyed it.
Well, that's the main thing. But was there any sort of reaction of surprise that
Well, there was surprise because to them it seemed like I just appeared on the face of Earth, and where it's been all these years. This film just came out of nowhere. Like overnight, that overnight sensation kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case at all.
So that was primarily the reaction to you. But what about to the content of the film, to the story of the film, to the characters, to what was on the screen?
Well, generally I liked it. I mean, you really have to just go through the reviews and read them for yourself. But I think that generally people liked it.
Yeah.
Critical analyst.
I know. I have seen some of the reviews, and I know that people liked the film. But I was just wondering if, given what you're saying, that this kind of a story had never been brought to the screen, was there a special kind of reaction to it? I mean, outside of your conventional film critics, for example.
Well, surprise. That's about it, I guess.
What about the black community itself? Was there?
It was very welcomed. Like, what took people so long to make a film like this?
That was the reaction.
We've been waiting for something like this.
Yeah. And the reaction, obviously, from from the studios was one of interest once the film got out there. What happened? Columbia approached you to do School Daze. Is that how?
No. I had a 3-picture deal with Island Pictures.
With Island?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
And in pre-production, late in pre-production, they decided that the film was too expensive, and they were going to pass on it.
This is School Daze?
Yes.
Right.
So they said they didn't want to do it anymore, and I put in some calls, and Columbia picked it up the next day.
Really? But they picked up the deal, or they picked up just the School Daze?
No, just School Daze.
So is School Daze your own script?
Yes, it is.
All right. And has that been something that you've been developing on and off over the years?
Yes, it's actually the first full-length screenplay I had ever written.
So what's the story of it?
The story takes place at a fictitious black college in the South during the homecoming weekend, and it's a musical. You see all the festivities, the hoopla, the pageantry of the homecoming at the college, the football game, the parade, the coronation, the parties, the Greek show, all this stuff.
So, but obviously there are certain relationships that are intertwined throughout the...
Right, and it also deals with the class color schism within the black community, you know, the haves and have-nots. That's based on color.
This is within the black community yourself?
Yes.
So, right.
Where the affluent people are all light-skinned, and the less affluent people, the lower class, are dark, black.
And who are the central characters in it?
One of the characters' name is Dap, that's D-A-P, and his adversary is Julian, Big Brother General, Big Brother Almighty, that's his name. He's a leader of the fraternity, Gamma Phi Gamma.
And romantic interest?
Yes, Dap's girlfriend, her name is Rachel, and Julian's girlfriend's name is Jane.
Right. And the people who are playing these roles, are they well-known black actors? I mean,
some are. We have a really good mixture. Ozzie Davis is in it.
All right, yeah.
Joe Seneca, who was in Crossroads, The Verdict, Silverado.
Right.
Larry Fishburne, who's been in 4 Francis Ford Coppola films, Apocalypse Now, Rumblefish, Cotton Club, and Gardens of Stone.
Right.
The great jazz musician Branford Marsalis is in it, who's the brother of Wynton.
And is the guy from one of the John Sayles films in there too?
What guy?
Sorry?
Joe Morton?
Joe Morton, yeah.
No, he's not in it.
No, he's not. It's just somebody mentioned him being in a film that was being shot at the moment. I just thought this one might have been it.
No,
so, I mean, is it regarded as a brave move by Columbia to pick up a film that's...
no, I think it's a smart move.
Well, I'm sure it is.
I mean, I don't think it's brave in their part. They're getting a bargain.
Oh no, I'm not questioning that from your point of view at all. But from Hollywood's point of view, do you think that other studios think it's a brave move?
I don't think brave has anything to do with it. They saw they're going to make money on it.
Well, fine. I mean, it comes back to the point that you made before that prior to She's Gotta Have It, as you said, there hadn't been a film like that made.
Yeah, well, I mean,
absolutely.
If they didn't think the film was going to make money, if they didn't think it had an appeal, no matter how good intention they are, I doubt they would make it.
What's the budget on this one?
$6 million.
$6 million.
Which is very, I mean, that's peanuts for them.
And certainly for general films in it, I think, what's the average, about 15 million now?
No, 17, I think.
17, is it? Right. Well, it's a cheapie for them. But it must give you a lot of flexibility, having made one film at 175 now and having 6 million.
Yeah, I got a little more breathing room. A little more.
Yeah. Can I go back and talk to you a little bit about your own background? I mean, where did you grow up? What was your first interest in film and so on?
grew up here in Brooklyn, New York, although I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 30 years old. I was born March 20th, 1957. And I've always liked film, but it wasn't until my sophomore year of college. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, that I thought that I might want to be a filmmaker.
Right. Was there a particular sort of connection that you made with film, or...?
Mm-hmm. It was just a gradual process. It wasn't like I read a lot of filmmakers say they went to see this movie when they were a kid. You know, they see Snow White at age 6, and then they were hooked ever since. It wasn't like that.
So was it a fascination with certain kinds of films, or certain filmmakers, or certain stars?
Not really. I just like movies.
Right. So when did you actually start making movies? While you were down at Atlanta?
Yeah, my sophomore year I was making Super 8 films.
Right. And what, you sort of moved on from there and made slightly larger ones? Did you come
I went to NYU Film School after I graduated from college.
Oh, right. So do you come? What sort of background do you come from? A middle class, fairly comfortable middle class background?
Not that comfortable. More artistic background. My mother was an art teacher. My father's a musician.
All right. So you've had certain influences in your life anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he did the music, but she's got to have it. My father.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's great.
And he's doing the music for school days too.
Right. And what is he? Is he sort of an all-round musician who plays a number of instruments, or is he a specialist?
Bass. Jazz bass.
Plays bass.
Bill Lee is his name.
Bill, right. Getting into New York film, where was it? NYU Film School?
Yes, New York University Graduate Film School.
Right. Is that an easy process?
Well, I think it's easier than USC or UCLA, where you have to get an astronomical score on your GRE test. GRE is a test you have to take to get into graduate school.
Right, right.
Whereas in NYU, all you have to do is submit a portfolio.
Right, so that's what you did, obviously, some of the 8mm films.
Yes. No, I did. I submitted writing and some photographs I had taken.
All right. What about now that you've gone through the process? Are you sort of looking back? Are you influenced by any filmmakers at all, directors or particular writers? Do you think?
I think more influenced by music. I mean, more than music. Always has, always will play a large part in my film. But I like Martin Scorsese a lot too.
Right, right. What sort of music? What sort of musicians? What sort of bands?
I like jazz, R&B.
Any particular performers?
None. I mean, I like a lot of people. I wouldn't want to mention.
So a very Catholic taste, eh? In the dictionary sense of the word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what happens now? You're in the process of editing this.
You could probably hear in the background, that's the sound coming from the editing room, the steam back in. Finished shooting May 2nd, and we'll be editing till the end of August.
Right.
And the film is due in February.
Oh, great.
Here in the United States, and we're going to show it in Cannes in May.
Oh, you're going to take it to Cannes, are you?
Yes, we will.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'll be there.
It'll be out of competition.
Right. And then, will you move on then to do the next 2 films in that package that you had?
No, I think I've outgrown Island Pictures.
So what, are you going to wait and look for something else to do, or are you going to write your own screenplay?
No, I'm always going to write my own stuff.
Right. So you really at this stage don't know which project you're
I don't know. I'm still working on School Daze.
Right. All right. Well, look, thank you very much for your time, because I know you have been very busy in there.
What's the girl's name that played in French Drillers? Christine?
Christina Neem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell her I said hello. I met her at Cannes this past.
I will. She's a lovely lady, isn't she?
Very lovely.
Yeah, she's great. I will. In fact, she only lives about half a suburb away from me in Sydney.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I'll
tell her I'm still waiting for her to come in New York.
Alrighty. Aha. I will do that.
No, it's not like that.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, please tell her that to give me a call.
Alrighty, I will. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Jonathan.
All the very best.
Bye.
Cheers.
Today, Spike is 66 and still writing, producing and directing films, docos and music videos. In 2017, he revived his characters from She's Gotta Have It in an updated contemporary retelling of the life of a young black woman and her lovers in today's more sophisticated social milieu. The series is available on Netflix.